Hi, welcome to Bouldersaurus, and a warm welcome to the new batch of subscribers from my last video. Today's video will be simple. Try to find the crux in each boulder. The crux is the hardest move or sequence on a boulder, so let's see if you can identify it. Let's start with something easy, only 3 moves on this climb. The climb starts with a move left to the arete, and then a high heel hook on the start hold. A scoot up to this undercling leads into this move with the left hand. After sorting my feet, I wind up to do a pogo to the finishing hold. A quick bicycle to stabilize myself concludes this climb. So, after watching the climb, which move do you think is the crux? As you can imagine, this pogo was the crux due to the amount of coordination and strength it took. There's a lot of moving parts to make this go according to plan. Let's move on to something a little less obvious. This next climb has these bubbly holds where it can be tricky to find the best hand position to hold on to them. The second half of this climb starts with this gaston onto a crimp into a traverse to the finish hold on some overhung terrain. So, where was the crux? Moving into a gaston requires a lot of back engagement, which increases the difficulty. That, coupled with the fact that this move is long and precise, made it the crux for me. This next climb is easy, so the crux might be hard to identify. I won't comment much on the climb itself, but can we take a look at these artsy camera angles for a second? I've been shooting on my 50mm lens, which requires me to place the camera comically far back from the wall. Anyway, camera work aside, where was the crux on this climb? It was right at the start. This start doesn't have a left foothold, so you'll notice I have to slightly toss my body to the right to maintain the stability to catch this next hold, which is harder than it looks. Okay, back to a hard climb. You'll notice the setters were out for blood. It made me have to grab my own leg to move it into position to start this climb. The footholds on this climb are nearly non-existent, so please understand that the entire experience during this climb is terrifying. You can fall off at any moment. Have you ever pulled a muscle in your butt? Yep, I did, several times on this climb with the amount of stretching I had to do with these legs. Those of you who have followed my channel for a while know I am at my best when pressing myself into a corner, but holy guacamole, this climb was a big struggle even for a dihedral gremlin like myself. And the crux? Aside from the entire thing, this move right here stretched me to my absolute limit. The unofficial term for this is called starfishing, where your arms and legs especially are stretched wide. It's super hard to generate any force in any direction. I got this move, literally, by the very fingertips. Okay, I'll shut up for this next one. Take a look, find the crux, good luck. Did you spot it? The crux sequence happens when I move to these crimps. It puts my body in an unstable position and I have to dig my elbow into the wall to get this high foot up, which puts me back into a stable position. As you can see with my back, it requires a lot of muscle engagement. On to another easy climb, but this time find the unnecessary douchey move that I did. Did you see it? The moment I peeked as a douche? Yes, right here, a one-arm swing on the finish hold and an unnecessarily high heel hook. It's best to unsubscribe right now knowing that you are supporting this. Yeah, it was nice. It was a good run, everybody. Back to business, and back into the corner. This climb is much like the pink before, but quite a bit easier. This climb is focused more on body positioning than spreading the limbs into a starfish position. Can you find the most difficult part? It can be hard on technical climbs like this. This climb has a foot focus crux. I need to get my right foot higher, which requires me to do this very precise foot movement. You can see my body move back just before I make the move, so I can have my momentum be inward to keep my hips close to the wall when landing on the new foothold. On to the next climb. I will once again keep my mouth shut, see if you can find the crux. I bet you saw the crux right away. Pretty obvious, right? We go to the start of the climb, right here. This is called a wolf jump, very advanced. Just kidding. Aside from not knowing how to read the start tags on this climb, the crux happens moving up to the sloper off a high foot. The high foot pushes your hips back from the wall, which makes holding onto the sloper a challenge. This next climb takes place on the steep overhang and has these mix of crimps and in-cut wafers. The start of the climb has powerful moves that leads up to these large feature holds in the middle of the climb. The end requires moving through these last 3 holds up to the finish. And the crux? Remember how we talked about Gastons before? Well, here it is again. In order to hold this left hand to move the feet, a lot of back engagement is required, which calls upon the most consistent strength and concentration on this climb. Okay, here's a climb from the last set, but I included it because it was a project. This climb has one continuous shot. I thought this climb was absolutely brilliant because it called upon a variety of skills, from heel hooks to dead points to some outright throws. If I don't look like I'm struggling in this video, please understand that this is a rehearsed climb because I had to climb it so many times to complete it. This recording was my first time getting it in one go, and every move was tough. What about the crux, though? This final hold is very, very bad, and requires you to launch from it to the top of the wall. It requires precision to grab it in the right spot, and grit to pull hard on it, making for a physically and mentally difficult finish move. We move to yet another climb in the corner. Gosh, I felt so spoiled on this set. The climb starts with a press into the corner on some slopers, before transitioning over to a sequence of these crimpy slots. Watching other climbers, this first high foot was the crux, due to the hip mobility it requires and the unstable hand these slopers present. This last climb has no identifiable crux, so it'll be my chance to thank you for watching my videos and supporting me. It makes me so happy to have others participating in my hobby. Any ideas or questions can go down into the comments below, and I appreciate every single one of them. It has been a pleasure. See you again next time.